Your phone lights up. A simple message appears, nothing urgent, nothing serious, but instead of replying, you pause. Why does something so small suddenly feel heavy? And if this has ever happened to you, there is a reason your mind does it. And then it begins. The moment you read it, your mind does not stay still, it starts generating replies instantly. One thought becomes many. Why does your brain create conversations that are not even happening? And once you see what it is trying to do, this pattern starts to make sense. You read the message again, slower this time, looking for tone, hidden meaning, something that you might have missed. But nothing changes. So why does it still feel like something needs to be fixed? The answer is not in the message, it is in how your mind processes it. You start typing. A clear response, simple, direct, almost effortless. But then something shifts. You stop, you delete everything. And suddenly what felt easy becomes something you cannot finish. Why does clarity disappear the moment you try to act? So you put the phone down. You tell yourself you will reply later when it feels easier. But the conversation does not end. It just moves somewhere else. Somewhere you cannot turn off. You sit there, doing nothing on the outside, but inside everything continues. Different versions, different tones, different outcomes. Why does your mind refuse to let it go, even when you want it to? You try to move on. Maybe walk away, distract yourself, shift your focus. But the thoughts follow you. And the strange thing is, they feel more real than the actual conversation ever did. Now you imagine saying it perfectly. Clear, confident, composed, everything you wish you said before. And for a moment it feels satisfying. So why does your mind only find the right words after everything is over? And then they respond. Not the real person, but your version of them, saying exactly what you fear or expect. And just like that, your mind turns thinking into a full conversation. Your body reacts as if it is real. Tension builds. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts sharpen. But nothing is actually happening. So why does your mind treat imagined conflict like a real one? More thoughts appear, layered, overlapping, louder with each repetition. Every version of the conversation plays at once. And now it is not clarity you are searching for anymore. It is relief. You sit again, replaying it from the beginning, adjusting words, changing tone, rewriting outcomes. Maybe if you get it right this time, it will finally feel resolved. But something still does not settle. Even in silence, it continues. Soft, repetitive, persistent. Like your mind is not asking for attention, it is asking for completion. But what exactly is it trying to complete? So you try again, stronger this time. More assertive, more confident, more in control. You finally say what you could not say before. And for a moment, it feels like you fixed something. But then it escalates, the tone sharpens, the tension rises, the conversation becomes heavier, not because they said anything, but because your mind keeps pushing it further. And eventually you feel tired, not physically, but mentally drained from something that never even happened. So what is your mind actually doing here? Maybe you think this is just overthinking, that you are making things bigger than they are, that you should simply stop. But here is the part most people never question. Maybe the problem is not what you think. What if you are not overthinking at all? What if your mind is not creating problems but trying to resolve something that never finished? Because the more you try to stop it, the stronger it becomes. Which means this is not random. It is directed, intentional. But intentional for what purpose? When everything fades, one thought remains, a single unfinished piece of the conversation. And that is the clue. Your mind is not looping, it is holding on to something unresolved. And this is where it shifts. Instead of reacting, you begin to observe. The thoughts are still there, but now you are not inside them anymore. Your brain is trying to complete something, to say what was not said, to hear what it needed to hear. It is not creating noise, it is trying to create closure. And when you stop resisting, the pace changes. The thoughts slow down. They become clearer, softer, more defined, almost like they were never meant to overwhelm you. You realize something subtle. You do not have to answer every thought. Some of them are just attempts, not conclusions. And that changes how they feel. One by one, they begin to fade, not because you forced them away, but because they are no longer needed. And that kind of quiet feels different. Only a few thoughts remain now, the ones that actually mattered, the ones that were trying to say something real. And for the first time, you can hear them clearly. You breathe slower this time, and the silence does not feel uncomfortable anymore. It feels like space, like your mind is finally giving you room to think. You look outside, nothing has changed. The world is exactly the same, but something inside you is different now, and that difference is quiet, but real. One last thought appears and then gently disappears. Not ignored, not pushed away, just understood. You pick up your phone again. No urgency, no pressure, no tension. Just a simple choice. And suddenly it feels lighter. You realize something important. You do not need the perfect response. You do not need to win the conversation in your head. Because maybe that was never the goal. The space around you feels different now, less crowded, less noisy, more open. Not because the world changed, but because your mind stopped fighting itself. And in that quiet moment, something becomes clear. Those arguments were never really about them. They were about you trying to feel heard. Maybe your mind was never creating conflict. Maybe it was trying to protect you, to process something unfinished. And once you see that, you stop fighting your thoughts and start understanding them.